Hey there, high level listeners. Welcome back to our advanced vocabulary podcast here on High Level Listening. This is our YouTube channel where we give you side by side American and British English to help you take your English to the next level. If you remember last week, we talked about a lazy day, but this week we're going to be talking about the complete opposite, a very productive day.
Yes, we are. Welcome back, everyone. My name's Mark, the British voice here on High Level Listening, and together with Kat from the USA, we'll be diving into vocabulary and expressions to describe those busy days where you're finishing tasks, crossing things off your to-do list, and making serious progress either at work or at home. As usual, Kat and I will each share our own experiences of a productive day, which will be full of vocabulary and phrases and examples that will help you talk about a day when you're focused, motivated, and getting lots of things done.
That's right. So after our scripts, we'll go through them one more time to explain and expand on the best high-level English that you can use the next time you want to talk about your productive day. And remember, if you'd like to download a PDF transcript of today's conversation and all of our other videos, you can join our community. There's a link on how to join us and get exclusive member posts in the link in the description below.
Okay, so let's jump into today's topic, a productive day. We're going to hear Kat's script first. Maybe you already know some phrases about being productive and busy, so can you think of anything we're going to say? Listen to the scripts and see if we say any of the ones you were thinking of. So, Kat, what does a productive day usually look like for you?
So, a productive day for me starts bright and early. I'll usually get up at the crack of dawn, make myself a quick breakfast, and start tackling my to-do list. My focus is on getting things done efficiently, so I'll try to stay on track and avoid those distractions. If I get a little stuck, I'll try organizing my list into high priority and low priority items, so I know what needs to be done first. Once I start crossing things off, it feels so satisfying and keeps me motivated. I'll dive into my tasks one by one, whether it's responding to emails, working on projects, or scheduling meetings. By the end of the day, if I've managed to check off everything on my list, I feel pretty accomplished. And if not, I try not to feel too guilty about it and schedule it for the next day. All right, so Mark, why don't you tell us a little bit about your productive day?
My productive days tend to be a bit hard to predict because some days I just wake up and feel clear-headed and laser-focused, and it just sets the tone for the day. I do have a habit of writing myself a to-do list the day before, so I can really hit the ground running and get off to a good start. I'll start with the easy items first, just to build up some momentum, like checking emails, reading updates, and setting up calls. And then once I'm on a roll, I'll try and get into some bigger tasks that might take a good couple of hours to finish off. If I manage to accomplish those, it feels like I've made the most of the day, and I can finally wind down knowing I've been productive and accomplished what I set out to do. All right, so those are our two scripts. Did we say any of the things that you were thinking of? If not, that's fine. We're about to go back to the start of our scripts and go through them again to expand and explain all the best vocabulary. So back to the start, Kat. When does your productive day usually start?
So, a productive day for me starts bright and early. Bright and early. Now, when we talk about waking up bright and early, that usually just means when the sun's out, right? When the sun is coming out and it's a bright and early morning. I like this phrase too because bright is a very positive word. Okay, so it sounds nice. It sounds like I didn't drag myself out of bed at 4 or 5 in the morning in the dark. No, I just all right. Well, it's bright and early. Happy to be here, ready to get started. So it's a very common phrase to talk about getting up bright and early. A productive day for me starts bright and early. So nice and early is also a good one too. What about you, Mark? You were mentioning kind of they can be a bit hard to decide if you are going to have a good day or not.
Yes, for me, my productive days tend to be a bit hard to predict. So, in other words, my productive days are not consistent. Some days I'll wake up and I'll have lots of energy and feel good. The next day, I might wake up and feel tired and groggy and sleepy. So I don't really know what is going to happen until I wake up. My productive days tend to be, my productive days usually are, or my productive days are often a bit hard to predict. If you predict something, you can think about it in the future. You can guess what's going to happen, but it's hard to predict. My productive days tend to be a bit hard to predict. Sometimes they just happen, and I don't know why. Maybe it's what I ate the day before. Maybe I went to bed early and that helped. Maybe I didn't drink coffee after 5 p.m. and that helped. Who knows? They tend to be a bit hard to predict. Some days I've got them, some days not. All right, so your day kicks off very, very early. What's the first thing you do after you wake up?
So I'll usually get up at the crack of dawn, make myself a quick breakfast, and start tackling my to-do list. Now, I would definitely consider myself a morning person. I think I get a lot more done in the morning for sure. So I'll usually get up at the crack of dawn. Now, when we kind of shove these words together, the crack of dawn, crack of dawn, at the crack of dawn. So, when the sun is coming up, right, you kind of just like, so as dawn, which is the morning time when the sun comes up, right? So it'd be sometimes 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning at the crack of dawn. Now, I did say bright and early, so I'm kind of thinking that the sun is already out, but I'll try to get up at the crack of dawn. So just as the sun is coming up, just as the morning sun is kind of just coming up, I'll usually get up at the crack of dawn, make myself a quick breakfast. Now, it is kind of interesting. I could say make a quick breakfast, but I'm not going to make it for anyone else, so I'll just make it for me. Make myself a quick breakfast. Quick breakfast, those words. Would I say a fast breakfast? Probably not. It sounds nicer to just say a quick breakfast. Think as the quick and the ek from ik and ek kind of work nicely together. So a quick breakfast and start tackling my to-do list. Americans especially love this word tackle. When you have to tackle a problem, it usually means that you have a big problem and you need to start to fix it slowly. And especially when something's big like that, like a long to-do list, you just have to go at it, right? You just have to get started. The word tackle does come from, sports, when you kind of attack another person and you push them to the ground, especially in American football. So it is kind of funny and it sounds a little aggressive, but it is what we like to do. So I'll start tackling my to-do list. Now, we did have a little piece of grammar that Mark and I really had to chat about a little bit, because normally you would say, if you have something that you do in your daily routine, something that you usually do, you would say, I usually get up. Okay, I usually get up. We would use the present tense, right? That's what we learn in our textbooks. That's the reason we have the present tense when we do things in our daily routine. But it's really common, especially in spoken English, to say I will. So it kind of sounds like I'll usually get up at the crack of dawn. And so we had a bit of a discussion about this, and we're using this kind of on and off. Sometimes I'll use it. See, sometimes I will use it. Sometimes I'll use it. Sometimes I'll just use the present tense. But we do use this for extra emphasis, okay? Well, a productive day for me starts bright and early, present tense. I'll usually get up and do this, then I'll do that, then I'll do this. It really kind of emphasizes, yes, 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 I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this. It kind of gives you a little bit more of a storytelling ability here. Even if it's talking about the future, we're just talking about things we usually do. So I'll usually get up at the crack of dawn, make myself a quick breakfast, and start tackling my to-do list. And your to-do list are the things you need to do. All right. So what about you, Mark? How do you usually get started?
Because some days I just wake up and feel clear-headed and laser-focused, and it just sets the tone for the day. So there's some good phrases in here. When you wake up feeling good and ready to do lots of work, I just wake up and feel clear-headed. Clear-headed, don't forget the ED, clear-headed means that I can think clearly, I can focus clearly, I can solve problems, or I can remember things. And as soon as I wake up, it's easy for me to start solving tasks or doing my tasks. I wake up feeling clear-headed. I'm not distracted by other things or worried about things, and I am laser focused. So a laser, like pew pew in sci-fi movies, laser, I don't know why laser has such a positive thing. I guess a laser is very,
A
very
straight line.
accurate. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
straight and it's
Mhm.
precise. And if I'm laser focused, then I can focus on one task and I can keep focused on it for a long time. Like the only thing in my brain is what I have to do next. I'm laser focused. So you might hear this especially more at work if somebody's working on their computer, drinking coffee. They're not taking their eyes off the
Mhm, mhm.
screen. They are laser focused. And this is a good thing. It means that, you have a lot of mental focus on what you want to do. And this is how I start my productive day. I just wake up, I feel clear-headed and laser focused, and it just sets the tone for the day. So it sets the tone. It is like this mindset. Being in this mood is it, and feeling that way, it sets the tone for the day. It sets. So that is how I will continue the day. I find that if I start productive, I will keep going and keep being productive. Or if I wake up in a good mood, I'm going to continue being in a good mood. And unfortunately, the other way, if I wake up in a bad mood, I'll probably still be in a bad mood a few hours later. It
Mhm.
sets the tone. Likewise, if you were going on holiday and you left your passport at home and you had to go back home, all that stress will keep making you stressed for the next day or maybe the other day after that. That sets the tone as well. So it's how you start and how it affects everything else that happens. But for me, if I wake up clear-headed and laser focused, that sets the tone for the day. So the rest of the day is also clear, focused, and productive.
Just like you, and you are laser focused, my focus is getting things done efficiently. So I'll try to stay on track and avoid distractions. So this is actually quite similar to what Mark said. So Mark is laser focused, right? And these are adjectives: clear headed, laser focused. But what are you focusing on? Well, my focus is on, so I'm focused on something. It's kind of an interesting word that we use. It's on the thing. My focus is on this. And so my focus is on getting things done efficiently. Now, this is absolutely true about me. If I start a task, I will usually take a step back and think, oh, can I do this more efficiently? So think faster, think in a way that doesn't waste time. Okay, can I do this more efficiently? Instead of doing step one, step two, step three, and then starting over with a new task, can I do step one, step one, step one, step one over and over and over again to go faster and do it more efficiently? So my focus is on getting things done. Now, I like this phrase because we say, let's get things done. Let's get stuff done. It doesn't have to be anything specific, just in general, the things we have to do, the tasks, let's get things done. So my focus is on getting things done efficiently. How are we getting things done? Efficiently. Efficiently. So I'll try to stay on track and avoid distractions. Now, Mark was laser focused, okay? And when he's like exactly what he said, it's kind of a straight line and it's very specific. So I need to stay on track. Another thing where we're following kind of a straight line, we're not going to come off the track like a train, and because that would be very dangerous, right? So I want to stay on track. That means I want to keep my focus. Why? Because I want to avoid distractions. All right, if my cat is being really, really cute on the couch, and oh, maybe I could just sit down with my kitty cat for a little bit. No, 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 no. So I have to go into the other room, leave my cat alone, and I'm going to avoid distractions. So if you avoid something, you are specifically not looking at it a little bit more than ignore. You're really making, okay, I'm going to ignore you, but I'm really going to avoid you. So it's just another level, another step up from ignore. And we want to avoid those distractions. If you are distracted, then you're, oh, what's that? Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, look at that over there. That's so funny. Oh, sorry. Focus, focus, focus. Lots of kids get distracted. I sometimes get distracted. Oh, cup of coffee. Oh, something for breakfast. Oh, what's on TV? I need to be focused. I need to avoid those distractions, the things that distract me, and I need to focus. Okay, focus. Stay on track here. Stay on track. Now, what about you, Mark? I like making to-do lists too. Do you like to do those?
Mm. Yeah, you've already mentioned this, and it's in my script as well. I do have a habit of writing myself a to-do list the day before so I can really hit the ground running and get off to a good start. So yeah, Kat's already mentioned a to-do list. It is a list of tasks or things you want to do today. It can be go to do the laundry, wash the dishes, clean the house, go to the bank, go to the post office, do some shopping. Anything that's on your list is my to-do list. To-do list. It's
Yeah, I say it the same way.
T-O-D-O. Yeah,
To do.
to-do list. Yeah, it's the things you have to do. So it's a to-do list. So in my grammar, in my sentence, I use some extra grammar. At the beginning of my script, I said, it's a bit hard to predict. Some days I wake up and I just feel clear-headed and productive. Now, the next sentence is kind of a contrast. I do have a habit of writing myself a to-do list. The contrasting word is do. I do have a habit of writing myself a list. So there's a contrast there because at the beginning I said it's random. Some days I wake up and I'm productive. But now I've told you that actually I am a little bit organized. So that's the opposite, or that's contrasting what I said before. To highlight that contrast, I'll say I do have a habit of writing myself a to-do list. So if you do two things that are slightly contrasting or slightly opposite, you can emphasize that by putting do before the main verb. So I have a habit. I do have a habit. It's like someone saying, oh, I don't like avocados, but I do like guacamole, which is made with avocados. So those two things are opposites. You can show that opposite, show that contrast with do. So even though my energy is a bit random, I do have a habit of writing myself a to-do list the day before. Before I go to bed or at the end of my workday, I write myself. It's not for anyone else, like Kat said. I write myself a to-do list. That way, the to-do list means I can hit the ground running. Hit the ground running is a fixed phrase. Don't change any of these words. Hit the ground running. It means I can start very easily. I can arrive at work and I don't waste any time. I arrive at work and I immediately start what I need to do. So I sit down and I immediately start writing emails because it's the first item on my to-do list. And this helps me get off to a good start. It would be totally correct if you said start well. I can start well, I can start quickly, but there is a more casual common phrase. I can get off to a good start. So I sat down, I replied to 5 emails. Yes, I got off to a good start. This phrase is sort of semi-fixed. You could say I got off to a bad start. Or like, oh, the first time we met, I pronounced her name wrong. Oh, got off to a bad start. But yeah, this phrase is good when you start well, start quickly, and you're being productive. You get off to a good start?
The same with me. If I get off to a good start, I might be, things are rolling, things are doing well. But if I get a little stuck, I'll try organizing my list into high priority and low priority. So I know exactly what needs to be done first. This is really helpful for me when I get a little stuck. Now, I said if I get a little stuck, but in reality, it's when I get a little stuck because no day is perfect. We're all going to have a moment where we think, oh, what do I do now? What am I supposed to be doing? Where am I? Who am I? So if I get a little stuck, and if you are stuck, you are not moving forward, or maybe you got a little distracted, or you're looking at the same page over and over and over again, and you're not moving from this page, you're a little stuck. So since it's a kind of a negative word, I'm using a little. If I get a little stuck, I'll try organizing my list. Remember that to-do list? Mark and I both like this idea of making a to-do list. I'll try organizing my list into high priority and low priority. Now, this is really helpful for me because I'm choosing the most important tasks, the most important items on my to-do list, and I'm taking them out of the main list and putting them on the top of the list. So now they are high priority. You've probably seen this when you get an email. It might be high priority. It's a very important email, right? High priority. Or it might be low priority. If I get it done today, great. If I don't, it's not that important. It's low priority. So once I organize this into high priority and low priority, I know what needs to be done first. That helps because sometimes I'm staring at that list thinking, what do I do next? I have no idea. So this helps a lot. Organizing these things into high priority and low priority, that means I know what needs to be done, what needs to be done. So what I need to do, what needs to be done first.
The next line of my script is I'll start with the easy items first, just to build up some momentum, like checking emails, reading updates, and setting up calls. Okay, so maybe you heard the grammar that Kat mentioned earlier. I am talking about my routine, but I said I will start with the easy items first. Again, we can use I start with, I usually start with, I will start with. They have basically the same meaning. I think this is also quite a good IELTS tip if you're taking the IELTS exam. A lot of part 1 questions are about your routine and your normal life. You can absolutely say, I will do this, I will do that, and it'll sound good. That might jump you up a little bit higher. So you can use this tip in that test if you're doing it.
Make sure if you are going to use it, it is a very casual way of talking. So I probably wouldn't say, I will do this, I will do that, I'll do this, I'll do that.
Yeah, make sure it's contracted. Yeah, I'll do this. I'll start with the easy items first. We both mentioned to-do list. The tasks you write on the to-do list are items. Yep, the first item, the second item, and many, many different items. So I'll start with the easy items. So these are the tasks that are easy to do or don't take a lot of time. So checking emails, that's an easy item. I'll start there. Setting up a call later, creating a Zoom call or scheduling a call later. That's easy. I'll do that. So items are the names of the things on your list. Like doing my taxes, that's not an easy item or a small item. I won't do that first. That's a big task that I'll do later. But easy items are things that don't take long to do or are easy. So I'll do these ones first because that helps me build up some momentum. Momentum is like speed, but it gets faster and faster and faster. Like a snowball going down a mountain, it gets bigger and faster. And I will build up some momentum. I think native speakers prefer to use the phrasal verb there, build up some speed, build up some momentum. And I do one task and then I feel good, so I do the next task. And then I feel good, so I do the next one. And I get more energized and I feel more satisfied, so I'm
On
more
a
willing to
roll.
keep
Yeah.
going. Yeah, I'm on a roll. Yeah, like a snowball downhill, like a train going down the tracks. Yeah, so I build up some momentum, get faster and faster, and keep the energy high. That's a big part of me being productive. How do you feel when you've been productive?
Ooh, once I start crossing things off, it feels so satisfying and keeps me motivated. I will tell everybody that sometimes if I've already finished a couple of items on the to-do list, I will add them to the to-do list and then cross them off. So it
Right. Free
it's like,
items, yeah.
oh, wake up, check. Make myself a quick
Cross.
breakfast, okay, check.
And it's
And
right
then,
to-do
well,
list. Check.
write a to-do list, check. So there's a couple of different phrases. You can cross something off or check something off. Do you use the word tick things off, or do you prefer check things off, Mark?
Ooh. I think if it's talking about a list, I will check things off. I think
Okay.
I would use check. Yeah.
Mhm.
Tick is just the name of the shape of the symbol.
Uh, I
If I'm
see.
grading
And so
homework, I'll put a tick
put
next to
a
it.
little, yeah. So I would put a check, like a check mark. Check, you did it. Check things off or cross things off. So if I have it says wake up, and then I'll just draw a line through it. So cross thing. Well, what? My to-do list, yes, I need to wake
Wake
up.
up. Pick up pen.
Are you, what are you,
Cross it
what are you
off.
saying? That's not a task? That's one of your easy
It's
tasks just to get going, right? Do you
That's right.
remember?
It's all about
Uh,
momentum. It's true. It's momentum.
So
It
yeah,
helps.
I am guilty of adding a few things at the beginning of the to-do list just to get that satisfaction, right? So it really feels so satisfying and keeps me motivated. When it's just hard, it's hard to get started sometimes. So just having a few simple tasks that you can easily cross off, I mean, it feels so satisfying. And the reason it feels satisfying is because it gives you this feeling of happiness, okay? When you write the to-do list, you do a little work, you cross things off. Ooh, I feel good. Okay. Next item. Okay. I did that. Oh, that really makes me feel good. It feels so satisfying, and it keeps me motivated. Ooh, I want the next check mark. Okay. I want the next check mark. I want to cross the next thing off. So I'm motivated. I'm kind of pushing myself forward. I have this new energy to do the work that I need to do. All right. This is one of my favorite phrases. What do you do, Mark, once you're on a roll?
Oh, well, then once I'm on a roll, I'll try to get into some bigger tasks that might take a good couple of hours to finish off. So before, I started with the easy items, and then I build up some momentum. And then once I'm on a roll, I'm on a roll. Again, like I am the snowball going down the mountain. I have this momentum and this motivation. And yes, what's the next task? Give me the next thing. What's next? Next. I want to work. I want to keep going. I'm feeling productive. I'm on a roll. You can use this in loads of different contexts. If you're playing a sport and you score like 1, 2, 3 goals, you are on a roll. Like you're just doing well again and again and again. You're succeeding again and again. So if you're on a roll, you're doing really well and you're doing it consistently, repeatedly as well. So once I'm on a roll and I've checked off lots of items, I'll try to get into some bigger tasks. So the key phrase, get into a task. This is a way to say to start working on a task. If I have a task, I will get into that task. It sounds a bit strange, but it's how people talk in an office, even though it
Let's
sounds
get into
casual.
it. Hmm.
Yeah, right. Let's start. Let's get into it. Or if you're talking to a colleague, you say, yes, I'll get into that after lunch. Or we need to get into this task. So it just means start the task. And once I've got this momentum and I'm on a roll, I'll try to get into some bigger tasks. So these are not the small, easy items on the list. These are the bigger ones, like creating presentations or writing scripts. And it might take a good couple of hours to finish off. So a couple of means 2, sometimes 3. A good couple of hours means during those 2 hours, I'm going to be working quite intensely and working quite hard. It could end up being 3 hours, maybe more. A good couple of hours. A good means it could be a bit longer than you expect. So if it said, making this dish takes a good 2 hours, it could be 2 hours, it could be a bit longer. And during that time, you're going to be quite busy as well. So a good couple of hours to finish off. We're native speakers. We love phrasal verbs. I could say a good couple of hours to finish. That would be correct. But a good couple of hours to finish off means the same thing, but we'll take any chance to show you phrasal verbs in context so you can use them too. Okay, Kat, what's next on your script?
So I'll hopefully dive into my tasks one by one, whether it's responding to emails, working on projects, or scheduling meetings. So, Mark, you said that you're going to get into some bigger tasks, and I'll hopefully, I don't want to get distracted again, I'll hopefully dive into my tasks. And I'm going to do the same thing. Dive into, get started on, get into. These would be, let's go. Let's get started. All right, let's start those tasks. Let's dive into it. Let's get into it. These are all very common. I almost can hear my boss's voice saying, all right, come on, let's dive into the next task. Let's dive into the next project. Really, I mean, diving in, let's get started, right?
Okay.
So whether it's, and when we're going to connect the sentence like this, whether it's this or that, you're going to give me a list of different things I could be doing. So one by one. Each one, then the next one by one, 2 by 2. So one by one, whether it's responding to emails, working on projects, or scheduling meetings. So these are just some different tasks that I have. It sounds like I'm probably doing something for work. And if I dive into each task one by one, hopefully I'll get my entire list done. Now, how do you feel, Mark, when you check all those things off the list?
If I manage to accomplish those, it feels like I've made the most of the day. So if, not always, but if I manage to accomplish those would be the tasks I mentioned before. If I manage to accomplish those, if I manage to finish those or complete those, it feels like I have made the most of the day. I have made because I've made the most of the day. And if I make the most of the day, it means I used it as best as I could. I used all my time at work to finish my tasks. I really maximized my time.
Mm-hmm.
I took advantage of all the time, the effort that I had, and I made the most. I did it as good as I could. I did the best possible with my 9 to 5 schedule. I've made the most of the day. This would be also true, or a good phrase to use outside of work. Again, if you're on holiday and you have one day, you grab breakfast in the morning, then you have a coffee, then you go to the beach, then a museum, then lunch, and do lots and lots of activities on your vacation. You made the most of the day. You took advantage of all the things in that time. So that's how I feel when I have a productive day. I feel like I've made the most of the day. How about you, Kat? How do you feel at the end of a productive day?
So by the end of the day, if I've managed to check everything off my list, whoa, I feel pretty accomplished. And if not, I try not to feel too guilty about it and schedule it for the next day. So by the end of the day, it's about 5 o'clock. I'm finishing up work. So by the end of the day, at the moment the end of the day happens, if I've managed to check everything off my list. So Mark used this word too. If I manage to do something, it's kind of like if I am able to. because I had good management skills, time management, organization skills. So if I have managed, so if I've managed to check off everything or to check everything off my list, okay, I did it. Yep, did that. Whoa, okay, yeah, nice. Yes, excellent. So I feel pretty accomplished. Now, whoa, okay, well, I am really good at my job. So when you feel accomplished, you're really feeling very proud of yourself. Well, look at all the work I did. I'm feeling pretty accomplished today. Now, the reason I'm using pretty instead of saying I feel accomplished, we don't want to feel too proud of ourselves, right? Yeah, you know, a little humble, not too confident. Yeah, I feel pretty accomplished. And if not, oops. If not, so listen to my sentence again. If I've managed to check everything off my list, if not, that means if I didn't manage to check everything off the list, and if not, I try not to feel too guilty about it. I don't know what is wrong with our generation. We feel like we have to work 100% of the day, every moment, every day. Our to-do list is a mile long, and then we're productive all day, but we missed two things on the to-do list. So, oh man, I can't.
It's a
Man, I didn't
disaster.
finish.
It's a
It's like I
failure.
didn't do anything today. What a failure. Exactly. So I feel guilty. Like, oh man, oh, I didn't do that. And now I feel bad that I didn't do it. I feel guilty. So I try not to feel too guilty about it, but I think a lot of people do just naturally feel guilty. So if I say I try not to feel too guilty about it, I will feel a little guilty, but I will schedule it for the next day. And if you schedule something for the next day, then you are going to write a time for tomorrow, the next week, and you will stick to it. So, okay, I will do this tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So I'm scheduling it for tomorrow. All right, what about you? How do you feel at the end of the day? Your to-do list is finished.
I can finally wind down knowing I've been productive and accomplished what I set out to do. So we've got accomplished in three forms here. My last sentence was if I managed to accomplish. So accomplish like finish. And then Kat said, I feel accomplished, which is like satisfied and like I feel like I've achieved a lot. Then I'm using accomplished as the verb again, but it's the third form. I have accomplished. I've been productive and I have accomplished. So you see this word in a range of different forms. They all mean finishing or finishing something, and in many cases, feeling good about it. Mission accomplished means you did it. Hooray! So this is a positive way to look at finishing all your tasks. Accomplish is a good word to know. But after I've been productive and I've accomplished these things, I can finally wind down. You might have heard this phrase in a few of our previous episodes, anything about relaxing or after work. You can finally relax and wind down. Wind up is get more annoyed and angry. Wind down is slow down, calm down, relax, sit down, melt into the sofa. Wind down has become more and more calm. And yeah, the reason I can wind down and relax is because I've accomplished what I set out to do. So the phrase, I set out to do something. I set out means I started and I had a goal. I had a target. In my case, it was the to-do list. I started the day and I wanted to finish everything on my list. I set out to finish my list. I set out to do my work and I set out to have a productive day. So I feel good when I have finished what I set out to do that morning. I didn't say that morning or the start of the day in the script, but it's there. I'm implying that. So I can finally wind down knowing I've been productive and accomplished what I set out to do. Okay, all right. Well done. We've crossed off our script from this episode. And now we'll do a quick recap, like we'll do through all of season 3. I'm going to show you the productive words and phrases one more time. Productive, clear headed, laser focused, sets the tone for the day. I have a habit, a to do list, hit the ground running, get off to a good start, build up some momentum, I'm on a roll, get into some bigger tasks, I've made the most of the day.
All right, and here are mine from my script. A productive day, bright and early, crack of dawn, a quick breakfast, tackle my to-do list. My focus is on get things done, stay on track, avoid distractions, get stuck, organize my list, high priority, low priority, cross things off, satisfying, keeps me motivated, dive into something, tasks, one by one, check something off, to feel accomplished, to feel guilty, and to schedule something. All right, so there you have it. Lots of vocabulary and expressions to help you talk about a productive day in high-level English. Let us know in the comments below. What do you do on your productive days? Do you use to-do lists? How do you stay motivated?
Yes, please get in touch. We do read and reply to every comment we get here on YouTube, so let us know if you learned anything new or have any questions about any of the vocabulary or phrases you heard in this episode. And don't forget, like always, you can join us as a high-level listening member to get a PDF transcript of this episode and all of our other episodes if you click the link in the description below.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. If you really enjoyed our video today, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave us a quick comment. We love to see them and we love to read and reply to them. So see you soon for a brand new video.
Bye-bye.